Just as public health professionals work in various roles, there are several types of planners, and it's important to have some background knowledge to understand each of their key responsibilities. Let's take a look at three of the most prevalent types of planners and the areas they generally work on. In this video, we'll compare city planners, county planners, and regional planners. Let's begin by looking at some of the responsibilities of someone working as a city planner. Picture a city where a factory has stood empty for several years and a local developer is interested in turning the space into condos. Planners are interested in keeping the inner city vibrant, where people can live close to their work rather than having to commute long distances. The developer must consider policies and zoning guidelines, including the number of condos that can be built on the property, their size, sale price, the amount of space left for parking, whether the entrance to the parking deck should be on the main road or the side road, and many other details. Once a plan is submitted, a city planner is tasked with reviewing the plans and submitting an environmental impact statement, or EIS, that describes the positive and negative effects of the proposed development on the quality of the human environment. For example, how will the increase in number of residents impact the surrounding area? What is the impact on traffic in the area? Are there enough pedestrian sidewalks? Will the residents have access to quality food nearby, or will they have transport to buy their groceries? Can they get there by public transport? What local businesses will be affected? What is the local impact on schools and recreational facilities? How will the price of these new condos affect the value of existing homes nearby? These are all areas the city planner considers when creating the EIS. Now let's look at the next type of planner, those working as county planners. Picture a parcel of land that sits on the outskirts of the city or town. The land was once part of a farm that raised wheat and corn, and now young families are anxious to have options available where they can afford a home with a yard where children can play and yet be accessible to the city for jobs. A developer wants to buy the property and build a subdivision there. Will the developer get permission to build? What zoning guidelines must they follow or need to be changed to allow development? What are the impacts on the local school system? How much will traffic be affected? Is the soil healthy for children to play, or does it have toxins from pesticides previously used to raise crops? Is the intersection that children will cross to get to school safe? In this scenario, a county planner is tasked with reviewing the developer's proposal and submitting the environmental impact statement, which makes recommendations on what happens to the land. Finally, let's look at a third type of planner, those working as regional planners. Picture a metropolitan area with a local group advocating for redevelopment of old railroad tracks into a walking and bike path. The proposed Beltline would link many neighborhoods, including both residential and commercial areas, where people work and shop, and provide routes for bike transportation to work and paths for recreation. Because the railroad track area is extensive, the Beltline would cross through several cities and counties, and its construction would require coordination of multiple jurisdictions and government support to buy the land and build the active living asset. In this case, a regional planner, representing the metropolitan area, writes the required environmental impact statement and makes the recommendations on the walkability and bikeability of the area, plus the impacts of the land value near the pathway.